Boys, today we are back, and I am going to be discussing how I think Paramount plus executives, have Dana White in a chokehold, and I think that the UFC Apex events in 2026 are going to be decent. All right. Now, you might say, the Apex, nothing good is good in the Apex, which I agree. I wish they would move away from the Apex in general, all right? But if we look at the Apex cards that are scheduled right now compared to the ones of 2025, they're decent, bro. I'm not gonna lie. They're decent cards in a shitty location. All right. Now, I think to start off the Paramount era, I think Paramount might have said to Dana White like, yo, the events in the Apex, like, they need to be good events. You can't keep giving us Apex slop, Apex shit. So I think someone at Paramount said that to Dana, and I think Dana is complying. I think Dana's going to put on decent Apex cards, and we have some of the schedule already for this year, and there's one Apex show in February, and then there's one in March. Obviously there's none in January because there's only two events and they're both pay-per-views, but it looks like we might be getting one Apex show a month, which, I mean, I wish we would leave the Apex, but that's decent compared to, last year. Sometimes we'd get two. But, sometimes some months, last June of 2025, there was no Apex shows. There was the two pay-per-views, UFC 317 and 316, and then the Baku, Azerbaijan, and the Atlanta card. So June of last year, there were no, Apex. And, last year, end of the year last year, we started really getting away from the Apex, and I think we're going to get 1 to 0. I don't think there's going to be two Apex shows in a month, 1 to 0, Apex shows. And I think when they are at the Apex, it's just going to be like another fight night card, There's going to be ranked guys, not just in the main event. And yeah, let me show you what I'm talking about. So right now, as you can see on the screen, we have, this is the first Apex event of the year. This is going down February 7th. And it's going to be at the Apex. It's headlined by Mario Bautista versus Vinicius Oliveira. Decent fight, all right? I'm not a fan of Oliveira. I think he's terrible, like, low-key. His last fight, I forget who he fought. It was Kyler Phillips. That fight was so fucking bad. Like, it was a dog shit fight. But I think Mario Bautista is going to show levels to this guy. But it's a ranked fight, all right? It's two ranked guys. At the back end of last year, I'm going to show this later, we weren't even getting two ranked guys in Apex main events, all right? So, we're going to take that. So, Bautista versus Oliveira, two ranked guys. And if we go down the card, if we look at the card, bro, like Amir Albazi, Kyoji Horiguchi, interesting matchup, ranked guys. We have two ranked fights at the Apex. Tell me the last time that happened, bro. Other than women. Tell me the last time that happened. Uran, Salty Baldiev, Julius Walker, that's a mid-fight. That belongs to the Apex. But then we go to this. Mikhail Olegchaychuk versus Marc-Andre Barrios. Tell me that's not like a pay-per-view. Tell me that's not like an early pay-per-view or early pay-per-view prelim or like an early pay-per-view, like the last early prelim or like the first prelim on a pay-per-view, bro. Like, tell me that's not that fight. And we're getting it at the Apex. Like, in my opinion, this is a step up, bro. Ryan Spann versus Rizvan Kuniev. Kuniev was just like the featured prelim when he fought Blades. I forget what card that was, but he was just like the third fight down. And now we're getting him at the Apex against Ryan Spann, a known guy. I mean, he kind of sucks now that he went up to heavyweight, but he's a known guy. So, that's good. Farid Basharat versus Gene Matsumoto. Two high-level bantamweights that are just on the edge of the rankings. We're getting that. One of them's undefeated. One of them only has one loss to Rob Font. So that's a decent scrap. Wang Kong, one of the most interesting women's prospects. I mean, I know she had that bad loss, but I mean, hey, and this, look, they're ranked. Are these guys both ranked? Eduarda Mora, I don't know if she's ranked. These two might both be ranked. So we're getting another ranked fight at the Apex. Tell me this card right now, before we even look at the rest of the slop, tell me this isn't like a bad Apex card. This is the best Apex card. This would have been the best Apex card in 2025. This clears every 2025 Apex card by a mile, bro. This clears it by a mile. And we're not even done. Alex Morono. All right? I don't know what I was going to say there, but that's a decent fight. Alex Morono, I feel like he's like a fight night, a crowded fight night type of guy. We're getting him at the Apex. Bruno Brazil, Ketlin, all right, and there's some Apex slop. Why is Alex Morono on here twice? Anyway, we're getting Eric Nolan back. You know, the guy who almost fraud checked Bysengor. So, you know, that's like, all right. So, the bottom's kind of sloppy. You know, Apex slop. But when you get past the Alex Morono fight, the Wang Kong fight, this the Farid Basharat, Gene Matsumoto, that's an edge of the rankings. You know, decent scrap. Span Kuniev, that's an edge of the ranking, edge of the heavyweight rankings. That's a good scrap. Kuniev was just high up. Mikhail Oleksiejczuk, Marc-Andre Barrio, that's a decent scrap. That screams like pay-per-view prelims or like pay-per-view or like the last early prelim on a pay-per-view. And then we get two ranked matchups. Bantamweight and featherweight. Kyoji Horiguchi had one of the best, comebacks of the year, coming back to the UFC, getting a huge finish over Ulanbekov. And with the Japan card looming, if he gets a big win, that's huge. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't bad to start the year. Like, am I crazy? This Apex card would have been better than every Apex card in 2025, like I said. So I think, someone at Paramount got in Dana's ear and was like, hey, we can't keep giving you dog shit Apex. Like if we have to go to the Apex, which, Paramount probably doesn't like, but, Dana probably pushed, we still gotta go to the fucking Apex, that stupid shit. But even if they have to go to the Apex, I think Paramount said you got to still put on decent cards. Like, we can't keep getting dog shit cards. So, and let's check the other one. There's only one more UFC Apex fight announced, and that's going to be March 14th. So, like I said, I think there's going to be either 0 or 1 Apex event a month. So, and if there's 2, we riot and we invade the UFC headquarters. Just kidding. But let's take a look at this one. This one only has 4 bouts confirmed, but look at them. Bia Mesquita, she's hot as hell. So, I mean, hey, that's a decent, in my book, that's a decent Apex card, all right? It's a decent Apex fight. Brad Tavares versus Eric Anders. Tell me this doesn't, like with the last fight I talked about, tell me this doesn't scream crowded fight night, featured bout, or the fucking on the main card of a crowded fight night, or on the second fight in on the prelims on a pay-per-view, bro. Tell me that this fight doesn't scream that, bro. I could see this, this. I feel like this fight already happened in fucking Miami on 314 or some shit. That's the vibes that it's screaming to me. And then Loney Kavanaugh, if he had beat Charles Johnson, he probably would have been ranked, and he might honestly be ranked right now. I'm not sure. He might be bottom of the rankings. Versus Bruno Silva, a ranked fight. Amanda Lemos versus Jillian Robertson. That's a decent women's MMA scrap. Lemos comes to scrap, and Robertson, she goes for finishes all the time on the ground. She's a good submission artist. So these are 2 ranked fights, and these probably aren't even the main or co-main event. We still need a main or co-main. We don't even have that for this March 14th card. So, like I said, look at these 4 fights. This is the Apex card for March. This is decent so far. If these 4 fights are on the main card with a good co-main and a good ranked fight co-main and a good ranked fight main event, someone at Paramount cooked with the with the Apex. He told Dana, I think this is what happened. There's a meeting and he said, we can't. I'm repeating myself, but someone at Paramount said you got to stop feeding us this dog shit, the Apex. So I think Dana's going to start putting on some decent cards. Like I said, these aren't the best cards, right? Obviously these aren't pay-per-view level. Some of these fights are crowded fight night level, but like I said, I think Dana's going to stop giving us complete slop. And I just wanted to take a step back and take a look at this card, Bonfim versus Brown, and tell me those 2 Apex cards that I just showed for 2026 aren't better than this. First off, Gabriel Bonfim versus Randy Brown. Randy Brown wasn't even fucking ranked, bro. Randy Brown was not ranked. It was the number 14 ranked welterweight versus an unranked welterweight in the main event. We couldn't even get 2 ranked fighters in the fucking main event, bro. Are you dead ass? This card was terrible. Joseph Morales, Matt Schnell in a co-main. You're telling me this isn't an upgrade from the shit I just showed you? Or sorry, this isn't holy fuck. We're not going to edit that out. We're live, but tell me this, tell me they didn't upgrade the cards of the ones I just showed you, bro. Uros Medic, Muslim Salikov, that's a decent scrap, but that's nowhere near a featured bout on a card. Chris Padilla, Bonfim, Leroy Duncan, Tulio, that was a decent scrap. Emmers Emil, come on, man. Barcelos Simone. All right, some of these fights are decent, but Cavalcanti, Josh Hoke, Denise Gone, come on, man. Tell me the UFC didn't cook with the Apex, man. Look at this. Just look at the top 4 fights, bro. Come on, man. The UFC is gonna cook. I have faith that they're gonna cook with these Apex events, man. These are decent fights, 2 ranked guys, decent undercards. I think the Apex shows in 2026 are gonna be decent. We're not gonna get any more Apex slop, you know what I'm saying? and they're gonna be fine. Like I said in the beginning, I don't know why the fuck we're even at the Apex. I mean, obviously it's for money like purposes. Like the UFC is probably saving so much money by doing this, but like I said, I think it's complete bullshit that we're still in the Apex. But I think we're only gonna get, sometimes maybe zero, but I think we're only gonna get max one, one Apex event a year. So that's good. And now that I think they're going to be decently, stacked, not stacked, but there's going to be decent fights on there. So that's all I'm trying to say. I'll show you guys one more. This card has potential. If this isn't the co-main or main event, like these two top fights, if this is the main event plus a good co-main and a main, this is better. This is honestly the one on March 14th. This is honestly better than the first Apex show on the 7th of February. So. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know if you guys think these cards are an upgrade from like the Slop of the Bonfim versus Brown. The Onama versus Garcia card was before this too. Like, let me know what you guys think if you think it's an upgrade. I certainly think it's a major upgrade. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Peace.